Today, I am joined by a trailblazer in both the worlds of mixed martial arts and professional wrestling. She's broken barriers as the first Asian American female superstar to sign with WWE's NXT. She's fought inside a cage as an MMA fighter and continues to inspire athletes all over the world. She's here in Salt Lake City for FightCon to lead a special pro wrestling seminar on October 4th at the Salt Palace. Please welcome the talented and unstoppable, the Zeda Zhang.
Hey, y'all. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I am super excited to have you in Salt Lake City, October 4th. Again, FightCon, FightConExpo.com. Get your tickets. But I want to go back. I want the people to get to know you a little bit. So what was your introduction to mixed martial arts?
So I would say for me, when I first started watching martial arts, it was when I was very young. But when I actually started doing it myself, it wasn't until when I was 21, I started with jujitsu and I went into it purely for self-defense. I'm actually from a very safe little town in Virginia. And when I went off to college, I went there very naive, thinking that nothing's going to happen to me. And after my first year there, I got close to getting gang raped. And that's what scared me so much. And I decided I need to protect myself. And just based on growing up watching martial arts and always being interested in it, that's what led me to go into jiu-jitsu. And I went to jiu-jitsu because when I was young, me and my grandma were really close. My family, they're immigrants. I'm the first one to be born in the US. So because of that, the stereotypical Asian immigrant family, they worked a lot. I was usually home alone, and the only person that took care of me was my grandma. And my grandma, she, for some reason, really loved pro wrestling. So, and wrestling in general, but she actually watched all of it. She not only watched pro wrestling, but she watched collegiate wrestling, Olympic wrestling, but she really liked pro wrestling because it was so entertaining. So as a kid, I watched it with her growing up. So wrestling has always been in my mind as something that I really enjoyed. And so when I went into martial arts, when you're in college, you can't just jump on a wrestling team. Like, you have to be selected to be on the wrestling team. So I picked the next best thing, which was jiu-jitsu. It was still grappling based. So because of that, that's what I ended up going into. And after winning my first tournament, I fell in love with it and I kept going doing that. But I actually ended up having to go to a MMA gym to train because my first gym, unfortunately, ended up being like a McDojo. So after that, yeah. So after that, I ended up going to this. So rewind back a little bit. I started doing jiu-jitsu with this McDojo gym. And then because I was training so much, because I actually started it with my first boyfriend. He literally broke up with me like on my birthday. So I was pissed and I decided I'm going to train extra hard and kick his ass when I see him. So because of that, that was my motivation.
Ex-boyfriend dumped you on your birthday?
Yeah. Yeah, literally the night before my birthday broke up with me. Yeah.
Damn, what an asshole.
Exactly. So because of that, I'm like, you know what? I started jiu-jitsu with him because he used to really enjoy watching UFC and he really enjoyed the ground portion of it. So I would watch it with him. And because of that, we got into jiu-jitsu together. But the thing is, he lived like closer to my hometown. My college was like at least 2 hours away. So it was a far drive for him. So we didn't train that much when he came and visited me. But actually, we only trained twice the whole time, like barely trained anything. And then after he broke up with me, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get so good at jiu-jitsu. I'm going to kick your ass. I'm going to be so good, embarrass you. So because of that, that was my motivation to be in the gym all the time. And because I was in the gym all the time, I caught the attention of my coaches. I caught the attention of some other coaches that wasn't even at that gym. So that other coach that was at a different gym, he knows the coach of my first gym. So he kind of he knew that that dude's kind of shady dude. And so because of that, he took me under his wing to like help me. So after the contract was up with the first gym, I left and went with the gym that the second coach was helping me, was teaching at. So I went to that gym and it turned out to be an MMA gym. And because I was there paying for a membership, I was like, well, I might as well take everything else and work out. So I really didn't care about Muay Thai, and I didn't care about like all the other type of styles. I was really just there for jiu-jitsu. I only did those for the motions. And it wasn't until after going to that gym, the owner slash coach of that gym, he just kept on coming to me asking me, hey, you want to fight? You want to fight? And I was like, no, I'm not here for fighting. I don't want to fight. Like, I'm not here to hurt people. My whole thing is self-defense. So he was on my back for a month and a half. And one day I just got so annoyed that I was like, you know what? I'll think about it just to get him off my back for the day. Next thing you know, next day he comes to me and he goes, hey, guess what? There's a fight coming up in 3 weeks. Mind you, that is no time to prepare for your first fight, 3 weeks. And he was having me fight up 2 weight classes. Back then, I was super small. I walked around at 116. I should have fought at 105. He made me fight at 125 and
Oh no.
put me up against a girl who is a striker, all striking. I literally did not know anything. In 3 weeks, I literally learned jab, cross, elbow, knee. That's all I knew. I didn't even know wrestling. I literally came from traditional, old school, play off your back, gi defensive jujitsu. And now I have to go into this fight with no wrestling. So I can't even take the girl down, no striking. And back then, it was all pro rules. So even though it was an amateur fight, all pro rules, no headgear, no shin pads, elbow, knees to the face, fully allowed. So dumb thinking back to it. And so, you know, he said to me, I got tricked into this fight, by the way. He said to me, don't worry about it. Just train really hard for 2 weeks. If you're not feeling up to it, you can back out at any time. That's what he said. So a week and a half into it, I'm thinking, oh, I am not going to do this. So I went up to him after training. I'm like, hey, coach, I need to talk to you. He goes, oh, yeah, I need to talk to you too. So they did an article in the newspaper and also the magazines about your upcoming fight. So I'm just like, well, now I can't back out. Now I'm going to look like a bitch. So I was just like, all right, I guess I'm taking this fight. And back then, you know, no fight science. And I'm from Virginia. So, you know, not exactly the most scientific forward place.
I was gonna say, the only thing I know about VA is the Clips, Missy Elliott and Timberland and Pharrell.
And Chris Brown and Pharrell. Yeah. We have a really, you know, a very good R&B hip hop scene out there. So I guess that's probably why that's like one of my favorite genres of music. But yeah, like surprisingly, a ton of like big R&B and hip hop artists are from Virginia. Like more so than the other parts of the country when ratio wise. But yeah.
But it's when I say that as an I don't know VA Virginia to be a big combat sports place. So I'm sure the community is very small, and all eyes are probably on you during this moment.
Oh yeah, especially back then because this was 2009. 2009, yeah. So it was I think 2009. So it was a long time ago. Actually, was it 2009? I'm not even sure. It's been so long, but yeah, it might be 2010. So yeah, back then it was very different, and because there was no fight science and just the culture of Virginia, it's very, it's country. It's country, which means not exactly hard work is a big thing. You just work very hard, but you don't work very smart. So that's all I can say. We did not work very smart. We just worked very hard. So no fight science. And all my teammates, they told me, they go, oh yeah, if you're going to fight up 2 weight classes, you need to eat a lot and like get bigger. But you can't gain muscle in 3 weeks just eating a ton of calories. And the thing with me is, even though I was small back then, I can eat and I can gain weight like that. So within 3 weeks, I just got fat. I just ate a ton, got super fat, went up from 116, 118 was the walk around weight I was at, all the way up to 133 within
In
like,
2 weeks?
yeah, in like 2 weeks. And then I had to cut down to 125. And because we didn't understand how to weight cut back then, I just starved myself, did not eat or drink water in 4 days. I could have died, honestly. And
Oh
it
my
sucked
God.
because my first fight was on my freaking period.
Oh,
So it
man.
was like so much stress. I was like crying. As a female trying to fight on her period, it's harder to cut weight. And I've never
It
cut
sounds
weight in my
uncomfortable.
life. And so literally, I don't they literally had me drinking Epsom salt. I drank 4 tubs
You
of Epsom salt.
you
Yeah, I
drink?
probably could have died. I drank white clay. Like,
What search engine were they using back then? Ask Jeeves? Like, who
I don't
did this
freaking know.
information?
I don't even know, but it was like some bullshit. So like, it
Cha Cha,
was
remember when Cha Cha was big?
it was so bad. And then like my weigh-in was literally on my period, on my period, on my birthday too. So it was horrible because I fought July 2nd. My birthday is July 1st. So we waited the night before, and my fight was in Washington, D.C. And with traffic, it took me almost 6 hours. It's like 5.5, 6 hours to get up there. And it just so happened that year was a record breaking heat wave, like 104 to 106 degrees out. So
Oh,
I'm
man.
in 2 hoodies, 2 sweatpants, 2 pair of socks, like wrapped up with a sauna suit over top of me with my teammates in the car. We're blasting hot air with the windows up, driving, trying to cut weight on the way to Washington, D.C. Like,
Oh
and
my
I literally was in the sauna working out. I was doing a full on workout, doing burpees, mountain climbers, like all that for hours trying to cut this weight. But because I had already not drank water for 4 days or ate, there was nothing to cut. So, thinking about it, I could have really died. And on top of everything, I literally tore my ACL fully a month before that. And my ACL popped out during my fight, and I had to pop it in during the fight. So there was just like everything working against me. Um, Also, I pulled my neck because I was so dehydrated, literally right before I walked out when I was warming up in the back. But,
jeez.
you know, after all that, I thought to myself in the fight, I am not going to lose. There is no way after going through all this shit that I'm going to lose. And also, by the way, on the way to the fight, so I actually was only like I think I was like 1.2 pounds over on my weight cut. And so my dumbass went and told my opponent, I was like, "Hey, as a girl, I'm on my period. We retain water during this time. Are you willing to fight at a catch weight?" And her coach was like, "Nope, you got to make the weight." So because of that, I ended up cutting weight all the way until 2 hours before my fight the next day. I
Did
literally
you
slept in a sauna suit.
did you make it?
Yeah, I ended up making the weight, but I literally had no time to replenish. I
Oh
had
my
to cut
gosh.
all the way up to 2 hours before my fight. So right before my fight, I didn't even have time to really eat anything. All I did was drink some water and get Pedialyte, and that's it.
Yeah, we
So
just see Brian Ortega go through the same thing on his last weight cut against Aljamain Sterling. This is man, weight cutting needs to be something that's talked about more. I know this was early on in your career, like, but in general, I think weight cutting healthily and things like that. There was a lot of variables in your situation. One, like you shouldn't have weighed up 2 weight classes. That's crazy. But this is a great topic for just people in general to understand how much athletes go through to make weight.
dude, the weight cut is the hardest part. Like the fight, nah, that's like easy when it comes to compared to weight cut. The weight cut is the thing that I'm just like, oh my gosh. And it's honestly, I've struggled with weight my whole life as well. So for me, this is like so beyond me. And after that, like 2 hours before the fight, I went in there just like surprisingly not dead. I should have been dead. Going through that, and I just remember obviously this girl was more skilled than me, with her striking background, and her coach is her boyfriend. So I'm like, oh great, she must be training at the gym and training in the bedroom too. Like,
Yeah, fact.
so literally, I'm fighting this girl, and
You're
she
single, right?
knows.
Are you single during this time because your boyfriend broke up with you?
Say what?
Are you single during this time?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
not only are you going through all this, you see this girl who has a loving boyfriend in her
yeah.
corner.
Seriously,
Like, man, fuck.
seriously. I'm just like, what the hell? Are you kidding me?
Oh,
So like,
Zeta needs a hug, man. This is crazy.
seriously.
Well, what was the outcome of this fight?
Huh?
What was the outcome of this fight?
I won.
Mm.
I won by unanimous decision, 27-30. So
Damn,
yeah.
27-30. What was it? Ground control?
No, I think I just landed more punches. I took her punches. She had more accurate punches because she obviously has a striking background. She was tearing up my left eye. My left eye was super swollen. But I hit a lot, and I was pressuring her. I pressured her a lot. So I pressured her. I just kept coming in. She hit me. I would not go down. I just kept coming in with more punches. So I surprisingly won by striking, even though I had no striking. And I literally tried to take her down because she knew my background was jujitsu. So she learned how to stuff all my takedowns. So I'm exhausted because it takes so much work to take someone down. Um, but because of that, I ended up winning the fight. And I remember thinking to myself, I did not go through all this shit to lose. So even though she was tearing my face up, I was just like, nope, I'm gonna keep going.
When
And
you got done with
I think also because I won is also, so even though she was tearing my face up, I hit her so many times that I ended up actually, I think it was the second round. The second round, I broke her nose. So that
oh,
was very much in my favor. Yeah.
dang,
I broke her nose, and yeah. So after
that's
that, after the win, it literally changed my outlook on MMA, and I fell in love with it. So I continue pursuing it as like a career that I wanted. But then later, injuries kind of put me back a little, and then I had the opportunity to go out for WWE, and that's how I ended up going to pro wrestling.
what was the what you got done with that? You see the injuries, and so you got an opportunity to go to NXT. What did you have any pro wrestling knowledge? Did you ever go to a school or anything before then? What was the introduction?
Okay, so funny story. Um,
Also,
okay,
by the
so
way, one quick question. What did grandma think about your first win in MMA?
unfortunately, she passed away before that.
Oh,
She passed. So okay, so yeah, this actually leads into my pro wrestling and why I didn't know shit going into it. So I watched pro wrestling with her when I was 4 years old, maybe even younger, like 3, 4 years old. And I watched with her all the time until maybe like when I was 10, 11, my grandma got Alzheimer's. And because that was our bonding thing, I stopped watching around then. And I completely stopped when I was like 12 when she passed away. But oh no, I'm sorry. I completely stopped when I was 12 when she got really, really sick with it. And then she passed away when I was like 15. So even though I was born in the US, my parents were really busy, immigrant parents. I was brought up by my grandma who only spoke Mandarin. So because of that, I did not learn English. English was not my first language. Mandarin Chinese was. And so I didn't even understand what I was watching. And I was so young, I didn't know the difference between pro wrestling and collegiate wrestling and Olympic wrestling. I just thought they were different leagues. I'm like, oh, these are the poor leagues. They don't have the pyro. They don't have the cool, fancy outfits,
yeah.
So I thought the rules were slightly different. And because it was on TV, I just thought, okay, like they do hit them, but it's just a little bit more exaggerated because they have to show it on TV. But I never knew the difference. I didn't know it was a work. So before my WWE tryout, how I got the opportunity was crazy because I didn't think I would ever be able to get this opportunity, because I thought the only people who would get an opportunity with WWE is to either be an Olympic wrestler or at least be a state champion wrestler, like collegiate. I didn't have that background. And so I got this opportunity because through my MMA background, I went out to Jackson's MMA in Albuquerque to train a few times. And when I was out there, I met this girl who wrote for Fight Magazine. And the thing is, when I was out at Jackson's, a lot of the fighters added me on Facebook. And the thing with Albuquerque, it's such a small, tight knit community, especially when it comes to fighting. If one fighter adds you, the whole city adds you. So literally, this other dude that was a fighter for ONE FC added me, and he and the girl from Fight Magazine had done an interview before, and so he started following me, and then for 4.5 years we never talked to each other, nothing. All of a sudden, at this point, I had moved out to California. I started training at Black House MMA. And then he messaged me out of the blue and was like, hey, I see you training. I think you'd be great for WWE. If you're interested, let me know and I'll get you referred for a tryout. So I'm like, hell yeah. And leading up to this tryout, so it was 2 months before my tryout, I didn't know, even at that time, I did not know the difference of pro wrestling and wrestling. Because, when you're a kid and you're watching something, it's left off at whatever you remembered it as.
Yeah.
And I haven't touched it since. I haven't watched it since I went into MMA. So in my mind, it was what I remembered as a child is, hey, pro wrestling is the same as all the other leagues, all the other wrestling. So when I was training for my tryout, I was doing MMA training. I was going strength and conditioning. I was doing grappling. I started doing more wrestling training. So that's what I did for a while until luckily I went to the strength and conditioning gym that I was at. My coach was like, hey, what are you training for? You got a fight coming up? And I was like, no, actually, I have a tryout coming up. He goes, what's it for? I'm like, WWE. He goes, oh, there's a pro wrestling gym down the street, right? At this time, I had no idea there was even such thing as a pro wrestling gym. I thought to be a pro wrestler, you had to be signed with WWE and you learn everything from them. I didn't know there was pro wrestling gyms out there. So I went to this gym, which was walking distance from my strength and conditioning gym, and it turned out it was Brian Kendrick's school, Santino Brothers. So I was like, oh wow. I ended up getting some really good like fast-paced training. I just did a summer program just to learn the basics, so that way I at least knew how to roll, because I didn't even know that there was rolls and acrobatic stuff, because as a kid I watched Hulk Hogan and he wasn't exactly the acrobatic dude. So
Yeah, a
like,
lot of stiffness. What
yeah.
I want to go back just a little bit. You walk into this gym for the first time. You look at the ring for the first time. You've never been in a ring before. Was it everything you thought it was, or like what did you think? And how was that first bump you took?
Oh my gosh. I looked at it and I was just like, I literally walked in on the most insane training that day. That day I walked in, what they did was they had 4 dudes and they had to jump on the rope and then spring off the rope and crisscross and jump to the other side. That was their cardio warm up. They literally jump on the rope, crisscross each, like, yeah, and freaking like do all that. I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. I am not acrobatic. And that's what I walked in on. So it was literally culture shock for me. As far as the bump goes, that was easy for me just because I've done judo, I've done jujitsu, and break falling is something I'm used to. So that was fine. It was really all the acrobatic stuff, the rolling, um, the timing is so different because you don't it's it's different because in pro wrestling when you're touching, it's not like a I don't even know how to describe it. Like all I can say it's looser. It's not as tight. It's not like jujitsu where if I grab someone or like wrestling, if I grab someone, I know I got them. I know where my leverage is and I know I could throw them off of how tight I am to that person. But with pro wrestling, you're not grabbing tight. So because of that, it's hard to figure out the leverage because most of the time you're not throwing them, you're working together. It's a dance. So I'm here like trying to throw someone, but they're like, hey, they're the ones that's supposed to time it to jump. So in a lot of ways, it's so different and harder in a lot of ways. Um, but luckily, I learned a lot of the basic roles. And because of my MMA background and going through insane training in my MMA career, the tryout for me was a breeze. I knew I killed it since the first day. And then they came to me and told me that I was their top 3 pick. And so I went through the tryout pretty good. But I'm really glad that I went through at least the basic roles because without that, I probably wouldn't have been selected. But
What does the tryout?
athletically, I was
What does
fine.
the try? What does the tryout look like? Are you going to Florida to have the tryout, or
Yeah,
is it
they
in New
flew us
York?
out to Orlando, Florida to go to Performance Center, and the tryout was pretty intense. Yeah, I mean that it was definitely an intense tryout. Uh, it was 3
What
days,
what year is this, by the way?
2017. No,
Okay.
actually, my tryout was 2016, end of 2016. I got signed 2017. 2016, my tryout, it was 3 days and it was 8 hours a day. We only got 1 hour of lunch, and for that, the rest of the time it was nonstop. Like we went in there, they had so my tryout was a very different tryout. It was invite only. So I was one of 3 girls who had zero pro wrestling background. Everyone else had a pro wrestling background, and it was 20 girls, 20 guys. So I went in there, and the first 3.5 hours, they had us lifting. And of course, I wanted to stand out. So I lifted way more weight than what they suggested. We only had to squat 90 pounds, but I purposely went and squatted 125 and I did extra rounds just to show off, to like try and stand out. And so right after that, I was like, all right, I need to make sure I make an impression. So I did that. But then afterwards, I totally regretted it because immediately after, my legs were so sore. I was so sore. Like it set in immediately. And then after lunch, we had a roll for 3.5 hours, like 3 hours or whatever. So literally, it was split between the guys and the girls. So the guys had a roll first, and then the girls lifted first. Then we switched off, and the girls had a roll, and then the guys lifted. But this is right after lunch, and when we were switching off, the guys came in there like, "Oh my gosh, half of us threw up." And I'm just like, "Oh my gosh." They threw up, and I literally I literally have to go in there after we eat. So
Oh,
I'm like kind of freaking out a little bit inside. And when rolled, there was 7 rings in there, and we used 6 rings. Sorry, there were 7 rings total. We used 6 rings because one's a soft ring. The 6 rings, we have to go in one ring, roll around. I think it was like 20 times around the ring, and then run out and roll another ring 20 times and run out and go through 6 rings. And it was just like all these things. Every move, yeah, go through 6 different rings and run in between to get to each one.
now,
So
real quick, Zeta, when you're doing this, I look at the current state of the training facilities and whatnot, and I see footage and I see who's running in them, and it looks like it's some talent, right? Like I think I see Omas do some of these trainings with some of the future athletes. Who's running these trainings with you?
When I was there, it was Matt Bloom. He is the head coach there. He was A trained back in the day. And there was Robbie Brookside, uh, Norman Smiley. Uh, there was, let's see, I think there, I think there was some other coaches there, but the talent that was there was Daria, Sonia Deville. She went by Sonia Deville. Um, there was some other people that I don't remember because at the time I didn't know anyone. At the
Got
time I didn't recognize these people, so I wasn't sure who they were. There was apparently a ton of like well-known pro wrestlers in my camp, in my tryout, that I didn't even know who they were. So I was like,
Looking
oh,
back
okay.
though, do you recognize them now? Is there any notable names now that you're like, oh wow, like this
Eddie
person was.
Kingston was in my tryout. Let's see, Shayna Baszler was in my tryout. Um,
Did you ever get to roll with Shayna like on some jujitsu type stuff?
oh yeah, we did. We rolled around just for fun after training one day. Um, just because some of us, want to get extra workout in, or we just want to keep our original skills sharp. So we kind of just rolled around just for fun. She's
Okay,
great.
so good. Yeah, I mean, the names that you mentioned are all great names. So you get through this training, and then at what point are you getting a phone call? And by the way, do you have like an agent? Or are you doing all this booking and everything yourself?
Um, all the booking is by myself, unfortunately. I do have a manager that helps answer DMs, but ultimately I'm the one that accepts or don't accept the bookings. Um, so the tryout, sorry, your question was right before that was,
So you get done with the tryout, and then what's the do you get a
oh
phone
yeah,
call?
when did they hit me back? The whole after the tryout, that's a whole nother story because that was some stressful ass shit. So my like I said, my ACL was fully torn back in like 2009 because like before my first fight. So this knee had never been fixed because I was a broke college kid and never got it fixed. And I went through the tryout, got signed. They gave me a contract um, couple months later because they go through a very intense background check. So they literally went through, I swear they have like literally people like this is before AI. I swear they have literal people sitting there watching every single one of my videos that I ever posted in my life on the internet. And they'll highlight every cuss word I said. Luckily, I don't have anything bad. My thing's squeaky clean, but I did cuss, like a lot of people. I am cussing now, but back
Yeah.
then when I was signed, it was their PG era. So they literally went through my videos and was like, she said ass here. She said shit here and highlighted every single word. And they're just like, hey, Triple H doesn't like cussing. So you're
Ironic.
gonna have to right? So
Ironic.
ironic. They literally came back with 43 pages of my social media and highlighted every cuss word I've ever said in my life. They even found my MySpace. I have not been on MySpace since I was 12 years old. And so they literally, I can't even sign into MySpace. And they're like, yeah, you got to get rid of this. So I had to find a way to contact MySpace to get them to take off my profile from when I was 12, just because I said something about me being upset, like, fuck this shit. I'm pissed off about, like, like typical
Yeah.
preteen teenage stuff. So yeah, that was the worst I've got. So after that, signed the contract. And 2 weeks later, Oh no, I signed. Yeah, it was about 2 weeks later. I say signed the contract, and no, it was 2 weeks before I was gonna move. 2 weeks before I was gonna move to Florida, I had already quit my jobs, and I had an awesome opportunity to uh, act in a full season of that TV show Kingdom with Nick Jonas, and um, I literally was on set because that was a TV show I was planning on doing from January to April. And my tryout, I mean, my signing wasn't supposed to happen until July 2017, but they ended up making me come half a year early. So I told them, I'm like, hey, I have a TV show I am on, or I'm trying to do. Can I do that first and then come? And basically, WWE was like, well, it's either us or them. So you got to make your choice. So because of that, I picked WWE. I gave up my opportunity at Kingdom. And so the day on set, I ended up just doing background work instead. So the day on set, I went
Real
up
quick,
to
Zeta, before we go more into it, how do you know which brand you're going to? Did you get signed to
they
NXT?
they always start us at NXT.
Okay.
Yeah, so NXT is the start, and then after you do it for a while, then they decide of whether to put you on Raw or SmackDown. But anyone who's on Raw or SmackDown, they are going to be on both because they switch off because they have the draft.
Yeah.
So if you're on
Okay.
Raw, you're going to be on SmackDown at some point. But NXT, and there's 4 brands. So NXT, 205 Live, and Raw and SmackDown. Raw and SmackDown's the oldest ones. 205 Live is basically anyone under 205. And then NXT was at the time a more developmental brand. And then later they became their own brand because it was so popular.
I've always said out of the WWE umbrella, I think NXT is top two right now out of all they're doing. You know, I mean, it's Raw and then NXT
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Sorry to take you off
Oh, no.
off the story. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I literally so I got the opportunity with Kingdom TV show because of UFC fighter Joe Stevenson. He was their stunt coordinator. So literally, I show up that day and I said, hey, Joe, I really appreciate the opportunity, but I just got signed to WWE, so I can't take this. And so he made an announcement on set and was like, hey, my friend got signed to WWE. Everyone's congratulating me. Literally, after getting off set that day, I'm driving home from Hollywood and it's like traffic. The recruiter from WWE calls me and he goes, hey, are you sitting down right now? And I'm like, I'm driving. He goes, I need you to pull over and park. And I was like, okay. He goes, yeah, your medical results came back and you have a fully torn ACL. So you're high risk. We can't hire you. And I was like,
Oh,
wait. Literally, you saw me at my tryout. I can do everything. I literally did my whole MMA career and I was fine. I'm fine. And he goes, nope, sorry, you're high risk. Can't hire you. And then he hung up on me, like just like that. So I was like, what the hell? I'm in shock at this point. And literally within 10 seconds, this woman gets her purse robbed next to me. And out of shock and anger, I freaking was like, what the fuck? So next thing you know, I grabbed the saw out of my car. I start chasing after this robber. And I remember thinking to myself, when I catch this dude, I am going to knee the fuck out of him with my bad knee. And then when I end up on the news, I'm be like, what, WWE? Obviously, my knee is fine. But luckily,
I love how your mind goes instant. I got the perfect promo to cut when I get caught.
exactly. Literally. I didn't, I didn't even know what that was back then, but like, yeah, I was just like, oh, so pissed. But luckily for me, it was such bad traffic. It was like 6 o'clock traffic. And the guy ran across the street and the light turned green and all the cars started coming. And so I went searching for this dude for 2 hours. After 2 hours, I calmed down and I was like, you know what? I need to go about this a different way. So I emailed the recruiter and I sent him a video. I went to the gym. I filmed myself doing single leg pistol squats with the bad knee and doing all these side to side agility motions and sent it to him. I was like, you know what? Like, my knee works fine. If you want me to sign a separate contract to say I won't sue you, I will, because I know you didn't bring me out for nothing. So I can do everything. I did my whole career on this and I've been fine. So because of that, they're like, all right, well, we'll take a second look at you. And so what they did was they ended up having me go to an NXT show in Riverside, California, and they had their doctors put me through a 2-hour test. And so after 2 hours, I was able to do everything. And so the doctor said, well, you know, normally we wouldn't approve someone with no ACL, but in your situation, it seems like you can do everything. So we're going to sign you. So according to the doctors there, I am the only person that WWE ever signed with no ACL.
Jeez. Did it give you any issues as you kept wrestling?
Nope. No ACL issue. All my
Did you ever
injuries was
take care
not
of it?
my ACL.
Did you ever take care of it?
No, it's still fully torn. Both my ACLs are fully torn right now. Because in 2019, my other ACL tore from pro
Oh my
wrestling.
gosh.
So, I'm still fine. I'm still able to do pretty much everything.
You're
And
a
I
freak.
credit that to strength and conditioning and physical therapy. So I'm very, I would say extreme. I'm very 0 to 100. When I really want something, I'm like very 100% about it. So when I pretty much I would say fix my ACL. I put that in quotations because I'm sure I'm going to need surgery at some point when I'm old. But I pretty much fixed it just from extreme aggressive physical therapy. I luckily, when I tore my ACL, my first ACL, like I said, I was much smaller. I was 116 pounds and I had less muscle mass back then. And I thought to myself, I'm fucked because my knee was popping out at least 8 times a day. I would step off my bed and my knee would pop out. And so it got to a point where I just felt like this is what I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life because I don't have the money to fix it. And
Yeah.
luckily, I ended up meeting this strength and conditioning coach. And he said to me, he goes, most things can be fixed without surgery with strength and conditioning. Surgery is your very last resort. So he taught me some strength and conditioning workouts. And all I had to do was these knee box step ups. And he told me 3 rounds of 3 minutes with 1 minute rest in between 3 times a week. And I just went balls to the wall and I started doing it for an hour straight, zero rest for 3.5 weeks. And after 3.5 weeks, I basically fixed my knees. I basically
Man,
fixed this knee. So never
incredible.
give me an issue since. And then afterwards, 10 years later in 2019, when I tore my other ACL fully, they're both fully off the bone. Um, haven't had any issues. Literally 2 weeks, I was walking like the next day with slight limp, but it was fine. I felt fine, didn't swell, didn't bruise, nothing. I even had a doctor friend come and look at me. I was like, hey, I think I overstretched my ACL. Can you come and look? So he came and looked. He was like, yeah, it seems like it's just overstretched. He looked at me and he was like, yeah, it seems overstretched. He's like, just rest it and stuff. And so he was also my stem cell sponsor. So he was like, you know what? Before we inject any stem cells, because literally it tore the night before I got announced that I was signed to Major League Wrestling at this time. So
Wow.
I was like, I need to wrestle like very soon. So I need some stem cells to quicken up the healing. And he goes, to be safe, let's get an MRI. I got an MRI and we're all shocked. We're just like, oh my gosh, it's fully torn off the bone. And my LCL, PCL, MCL, meniscus is all partially torn on top of that. So when I found that out, there was, I just did strength and conditioning, physical therapy exercises, and it's been fine.
Oh wow. October 4th at FightCon. You'll be doing a seminar for pro wrestling. What should we expect at the Salt Palace?
So this is a going to be a very unique type of seminar because I am trying to incorporate my background, because I think the biggest thing that a lot of combat athletes that go into pro wrestling is there is a lot of similarities, but there's also a lot of differences where it's very opposite. And I decided this seminar, I'm doing pro wrestling that works for MMA. So they're going to be moves that is great for both. So anyone who wants to come for pro wrestling to learn pro wrestling can come, and anyone who wants to add some cool moves in for their MMA fights, they can also come. They'll both benefit.
Oh, that's awesome. Um, I was gonna ask you, when did Julia find Zeta Zhang, or was Zeta Zhang a prototype of WWE?
So it was because of WWE. When I debuted, or when I came for when I went for a tryout, like I said, everyone there was a pro wrestler. Like I was one of the few that was not. So everyone had their own wrestling nickname. And I, at the time, didn't have one. So I decided to use my MMA nickname, which is Julia Will Kill a Hoe. And because my last name's Ho, and it's Will Killa because, like I said, with how stressful my first fight was, the only reason why I won that fight was because I had the will to keep going. Like I was not willing to lose. So that's why I have Will Kill a Ho. It's a pun for I'll kill their will to win and I'll kill hoes. So basically that's I use that at WWE during the tryout, because for each time that we get into a ring, we have to announce our name and our number and then do the move. So they told me I couldn't use that because WWE was very PG back then. So I couldn't use my nickname. And they told me to pitch a new nickname because at the time they selected me for the Mae Young Classic tournament and I had to debut under a different name. So I decided to pitch. They told me to pitch 6 names, and Zeta was the one I wanted most. Luckily, they picked the one that I wanted most. And I picked Zeta because each name that I pitched had to do with my like entrance. So I wanted to showcase the Asian side of me. Um, and so I would, because I was babyface also, I came out with like 2 peace signs. And with the peace signs, I wanted to come either for Z, W, M, A's, or 2 V's. So all the names I pitched had either of these letters. And Zeta came about because as a kid, I watched Xena, the Warrior Princess, and I also liked Zelda, the video game. So it was kind of a mix between Xena and Zelda, which came out with Zeta. And fun fact, Zeta was a name that Nia Jax had pitched back in the day. So when they saw Zeta, they're like, oh yeah. Even though I think she spelled it different, but that's how I ended up getting the name Zeta. It was I pitched Zeda Zhang. They just took Zeta and they copyrighted Zeta. After my leaving WWE, I used Zeta Zhang. I added the Zhang for copyright issues.
That's awesome. That's a unique story. Now, word on the street is word on the street. I'm not confirming or denying anything, but word on the street is that you're calling out Hollywood Haley J to a power slap competition.
Yeah. I
That's the word
mean,
on the street. Is that you specifically? I'm just saying that might be alleged, but I'm just saying that Hollywood Haley J was somebody that was a target for Zeta Zhang. I'm
I
telling you what
did
I'm
not
hearing in the internet streets.
I did not call her out, but I'm willing to fight anyone. So I'm down. I'll fight anyone. I'll slap
Now,
up any hoe.
yeah, exactly, right. Um,
Respectfully, hoe. Yeah.
yeah.
Hoe.
But tell me a little bit about that. I seen that you tried out for Power Slap. What's going on there?
I tried out literally a couple days ago. Got through, thankfully. Um, and I have a fight coming up October 3rd. So I'm preparing for that. Super excited. Literally right before the right before FightCon. But so basically I'm not sure what weight class I will be going for. That's still in discussion because I literally found this out yesterday. And I don't know who I'm fighting, but just know I will be fighting October 3rd in Vegas.
Hollywood, Hilly J. I'm putting your name out there. Zeta wants to smoke. I don't know if you guys are the same weight class though.
uh
Gotta be
well,
close.
I'm trying to be 125, but I'm going to go whatever they want me at. So, whatever they want me at, I'll do it. So,
What's the? I
that's
mean,
the ethnic.
we're seeing more and more pro wrestlers going to this fight, slap boxing, power slap league. My man Juicy was in there. Obviously, I mentioned Hollywood, Haley J. There's a couple more pro wrestlers that are putting their name in this hat of power slap. What is the allure of power slap, and why are we seeing so many pro wrestlers going to this field?
I would say besides the money, like it's a great fun opportunity. We literally slap people when we're doing pro wrestling. So, in pro wrestling, we're kind of used to taking smacks. It's kind of normal, but it's also one of those moves that when you smack someone, it's like a big pop. It's like, oh, and it's very disrespectful.
It
So
is.
it's something that really resonates not only on a move aspect, but on a storytelling aspect in pro wrestling. So now, not only are you able to do something like this, but you're able to get paid well and get a big platform to show people this. So for pro wrestlers, this is something that's fun. This is something like, what? You're telling me I get to do this that's already fun and get paid and get eyes on me? Of course not. Like it's an easy sell for us. So yeah, we're about it because with that, so often we get kicked to the face and whatever else. We have to take some crazy falls. It's just so much harder, in our opinion, to do pro wrestling and to unfortunately not make very much with it, especially on the indie circuit. So because of that, it's like if we just have to take a slap and give a slap, of course we're gonna do it.
Yeah, but it's not just that. Let's be honest. Like, it's all up to chance. All right. You get a coin flip, and whoever goes first has the advantage. That is the main. I think the biggest battle is getting the coin flip. Now, obviously, I'm not taking the slaps, but we do know that one slap could put you out, and that could be the fight, right? You get knocked out, you're done.
Yeah. I mean, there is a dude in there that literally lost pretty much all the coin tosses and he freaking won all of his slaps. So I
Must
think a
have a
lot
chin.
of it has to do with your chin. And I believe I have a good chin because I used to have to train with dudes back then. Okay. I trained with not exactly in the smartest way. And back then we would spar full on 3 times a week, which is stupid thinking back to it. I'm sparring guys. I was the only girl in the gym. So I would have dudes with ego issues that would try and knock me out every single sparring session. So if I can take that at 116 pounds, I can definitely take a girl's slap at the weight that I'm at now. I'm much stronger now. So
How I
very
mean, you're about 4 weeks out from your debut at Power Slap. How do you train for this? Is there a
um
certain
I'm I'm basically gonna train technique. I'm training technique. Um I am training power. I'm making sure that my mobility is good. You want to be flexible. Luckily, I'm like hyper flexible. So I think that's gonna be my advantage as well. Um I'm definitely training my neck. Uh Luckily a lot of my I don't know, I would say I have pretty big traps for a girl. So I think I'm for my weight class, so I think I'm fine with that. But I just continue with neck training, technique training, and making sure I'm flexible.
One thing that I see as far as technique goes is the drop real low, almost touching your, if you're right-handed, your right ankle, and then coming across. Are you, is that something? Are we dropping real low? Are we, what's the technique?
Um,
How you gonna get the KO?
no, I don't. I don't think so. I'm still trying to decide what I want to do. I think it's pretty, I mean, this came up on me pretty fast. So I'm still deciding on what I want to do. I'm just going to stick to what I know from my MMA background. I know how to move my weight around, I know how to generate power. And the only thing is to just do that within the rule set. Obviously, I can't pivot my foot. I can't, but I can still generate power based on my MMA background, based on my kickboxing, boxing background. So I think it's
Seems,
basically that. Scientifically, the mechanics are there.
yeah, I was gonna say, being having your MMA background with hip tosses and hip throws, it seems like a lot of your power is gonna come from those hips. So
I
I
am
think that you have a bright future with this.
I'm very bottom heavy, so I know I can generate a lot of power with my legs. So, and the
Hell
thing
yeah.
is, it's all hips and legs. So my leg power is where it's at.
Now, Zed, I don't want to take too much more of your time. We do have a great wrestling school, pro wrestling school here in Salt Lake City called Al Snow Wrestling Academy. We also have a great
Uh,
promotion in Devotion Championship Wrestling. Now, if there are young women or young boys that want to get into pro wrestling, what advice would you have for them in your experience?
they definitely should go to a pro wrestling school. It, like I said, if I hadn't have gone to Santino Brothers for that short training session, I definitely would not have been signed to WWE. It's important to do the skills first, and with learning the skills, your coaches there will set you up to take shows. So it's literally a straight line. When you're in their training, you'll get the opportunity when you get good enough to be able to start wrestling on the indie circuit. And when you do well, that's how you get eyes on you. You get eyes on you for the bigger shows.
Would you ever do another blood sport?
Definitely. That was like so fun. I really enjoyed Bloodsport. That I feel like Bloodsport is more my style of pro wrestling. I don't It's just more my style. My style is more strong style. My style is MMA based, and it's less planning. Like, I honestly don't have the best memory, so because of that, I don't like planning. I like going on the fly, but unfortunately a lot of people don't like going on the fly. And so I'd rather do more blood sport style where I'm just going to put you in a move and you just need to get out.
I mean, you talk about a mixture of MMA and pro wrestling. It almost sounds like that's kind of what the clinic we're going to get October 4th at FightCon. It's kind of the blood sport, what you had going on with blood sport.
Pretty much, yeah, I would say that. But I do have very specific moves where, you know, I know it will work for MMA, but it's also great for pro wrestling. So if you're an MMA person that just want to throw in some memorable moves, that's a good thing to learn. And it's also so uncommon for MMA people that a lot of people most likely won't expect it.
How do you get locked in for competition? Is there a certain music or a certain podcast or something that you listen to before you get locked in?
I think I don't know, I'm just crazy. Uh for some reason, everyone always tells me, oh, when I train, I gotta listen to this music. When I train, I don't listen to anything. I'm just in complete silence. And I just listen to my own breath. I just sit there and count my breath for hours. I've always trained like that. Even back in the day, I never played music. And the whole time I'm just there counting my own breath and I'm just in the zone.
Now, Are you done with pro wrestling? Are you still taking indie bookings? Are you still trying to do more with that side of that career?
You know, the past few years I've been very selective with my bookings for pro wrestling. Honestly, I'm older now, much older now. I don't want to take any pro wrestling bookings unless it's for TV. Like, I prefer TV style wrestling. I might be biased because of WWE, so I like that pace. I like the TV style wrestling, WWE style pace. So unless it's for TV, then sure, I'll do it. Otherwise, like, not so much. I'm trying to be smarter. Work smarter, not harder, right? I'm trying to be smarter about my body and what I take. So I don't want to use up my bump card too much, especially when now I have power slap is something that I really want to go into. If there is the right pro wrestling opportunity, though, like to do a few shows here and there, I definitely will take it in conjunction with my power slap.
I think we can really build something with this Hollywood. Hilly J. I don't know why. I just want you and her to fight.
Okay. I mean, I'm sure we will at some point. I'm sure we will. I believe she's a 125er. So I'm
Yeah.
definitely, like I said, I'm open to fight anyone.
All right. I just want to finish up. I got just a couple more here. I've got a rapid fire this or that. All right.
Okay.
So you got to pick one or the other. All right. Pizza or tacos?
Tacos.
MMA or pro wrestling?
Oh, that's hard. Everyone asks me that. I have to pick one. At what age?
Oh, don't do that. Okay, let's
They're
split it up.
so even. If I knew, I would. Yeah, they're way
Okay,
too
younger career and current career.
Younger career MMA, current career pro wrestling.
Okay. MK or Street Fighter?
MK. I'm biased. I love my Mortal Kombat.
Anderson Silva or George St. Pierre?
George St. Pierre.
The Rock or Stone Cold?
The Rock.
What was grandma's? Do you know grandma's?
Hulk Hogan.
Really? Okay. Summer or fall?
Fall.
Chun-Li or Ryu?
Chun-Li.
I seen your cosplay as her. That was pretty good.
I do love Chun-Li. Chun-Li is the reason why I like Street Fighter, but I am a Mortal Kombat fan because that was the first video game and first fighting game I ever grew up on.
Who was your character in
video game.
Mortal Kombat?
I loved all the ninjas. So like Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Reptile, Smoke. Like, yeah, they were my favorite.
All right. Well, Zeda Zhang will be at FightCon October 4th. Pro wrestling / MMA seminar. Get your tickets at fightconexpo.com. What is next for you though? How can we follow your journey and what is next for you?
Hopefully more slap fighting and pro wrestling, depending on the promotion. Yeah, hopefully more slap fighting. But you can follow me at Zeda_Zhang on Instagram, and all my information is on there. There might be I'm still figuring out my social media right now with Slap. So, but you should be able to find me with that, or you could type in Will Killaho, WILLKILLAHO.
You should do something with Ron Killings. Y'all both have the Killing name in it. So
I'm friends with Ron. I'm friends with
you,
Ron. We should actually, and he does music too. I used to do music, not anymore. He does music. I'm sure that might be a.
Let's make that collaboration happen. Tell Ron.
Let's make it happen. I'm liking his stuff. I like his music.
All right. Okay. Again, FightCon October 4th. Power Slap October 3rd. By the way, Power Slap probably the best title belt that is out right now. It's beautiful. I love the blue and the silver. It looks super clean.
It looks so nice. I literally just got a photo with it the other day, so I might have to post that soon.
So hopefully you get that belt here soon, and we can do this again with that big title on your shoulder there.
Yes, hopefully.
All right, go follow her, but more importantly, go get your tickets. FightConExpo.com. See her October 4th at the Salt Palace Convention Center. Zeda, I appreciate your time today.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. That was so fun.